Are we live? Yes, we're live. Great. Hello, everybody. Welcome to tonight's webinar, Spanish and Medicine, Spanish and Shadowing in Latin America. I see a few of you are still hopping on, so we're just going to give it a few more seconds before we begin. Again, this is the 2022 Spanish and Shadowing in Latin America. This is our open house, and we're going to tell you all about our program tonight, and I'll introduce the staff to you. While I'm doing this, if you have any questions, please feel free to write them in the chat box. Our staff is ready to answer all of your questions. So go ahead and do that. In a few moments, you will receive a message in your chat box just greeting you and letting you know that you can write your questions there. I'm hoping to get through a lot of information today. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I do want to give you as much information as possible. And I just see a few more people hopping on, so we'll give it about 20 seconds or so, half a minute, and we'll start, okay? For those of you who have just hopped on, again, it's a Spanish and Medicine 2022, Spanish and Shadowing with the Shadow Abroad Foundation in South America. All right, let's get down to this. Let me, and I hope that you'll be patient with me. I'm not very technical, so I have some staff with me today that's going to help me out. Karen, Sandra, and Cassandra are student advisors here with me today. Hello. Hola, there they are. Karen comes to us from the very south of Chile. She's in Puerto Natales, nice and cold, close to the Antarctic, the South Pole. So she's keeping warm down there, but Karen comes to us from Australia. So she knows exactly what it feels like to travel abroad and be inserted in a culture that's quite different from yours. Sandra Fernandez is also joining us today, and she's in the capital of Chile, in Santiago. And Sandra's also an avid world traveler, and she comes to us from the cruise industry. So she was on cruises all over the world, and she too knows what it's like to visit a place where you may not speak the language and where culture might be quite different from yours. So she can definitely answer a lot of those questions about, you know, learning the language and being inserted in a different culture. Cassandra Brooks is also here with us today, and Cassandra is out of Valparaíso, Chile. That's right next to our Viña del Mar School. Valparaíso is a UNESCO site, so if you do visit our Viña del Mar School, you'll definitely want to visit Valparaíso. Cassandra comes from Scotland, so she is well seasoned to tell you about what it's like coming to a Latin American country and learning the language almost from zero and being inserted in a culture that's quite different from what you're used to. So Cassandra can give you a lot of feedback with regards to what to expect as well. So thank you, ladies, for being with us here tonight and helping me out a little bit with some of the questions that might come up later on. Carolina is also on the line with us today. Carolina is the assistant director. Hola. And she helps me out with the technical portion of things because, as I said, I'm not too technical. Carolina's family lives in Miami, so she travels back and forth a lot, and she knows exactly what it's like to have family in the US who have, you know, experience having to go for medical attention and feeling what it's like not to be able to communicate as well as you would if you were fluent in English. So she's got that image firsthand, and she can share that with you as well. My name's Patty. I'll be your cruise director for the evening, taking you through this wonderful program that is the Spanish and Shadowing in Latin America. And I am from well, I grew up in Canada. My parents are from Chile, and I know exactly as well what it's like for them as immigrants who worked really hard to be a part of the community and trying to be welcome into the community, and how difficult it was for them. So I can definitely share some of that information with you. So today we're going to talk a lot about the program, what it's about, what our mission is, what our goals are, and hopefully we can allow you to decide if our goals and your goals come together as one, and if this program is a good fit for you. All right. So as I said, as I go through, if you'd like to ask any questions, go ahead and write them in the chat box, and we're happy to answer them for you. If we have enough time, I will be asking my staff to help me out to read some of those out, and we'll go through them online. If we don't have time, or if we run out of time, our staff will definitely send you an email and answer your questions, okay? But let's try to get through as many as possible. I'd like to start today with the elephant in the room. Okay, and that's COVID. A lot of people are wondering, hey, what's the situation with COVID over there? So all of our schools, Argentina, Chile, Costa Rica, Ecuador, and Peru, we're all in a little bit of a different situation. Some of the schools are open, some are still closed, depending on what the COVID situation is and what the governments and local authorities have sort of decided and planned out for each of the locations. But we are, I would say, probably like 3 months behind what the US is. So we are in the southern hemisphere, so we're going into winter. And so think about how things were in the States during the winter, right? Some of the numbers were a little bit higher, but then they start coming down as spring hits again, right? So we're kind of there. We're really happy because vaccination has, it's well underway. For example, in Chile, the 80% of the target population has already been vaccinated, and now they're starting with minors. So that's really a great thing for us to say. Well, you know, the precautions are very similar as they are in most places in the world. You know, keeping social distance, wearing face masks in public is still a thing in Latin America. We frequently sanitize the rooms, the classrooms, so there are more frequent breaks so that students, you know, will go out and we can air out the rooms and sanitize them. And of course, everybody is obviously carrying hand sanitizer, but it's also readily available to all patrons wherever you go. So that's more or less the situation. It's looking up, it's getting better, just like it is in North America. And we're really happy, and we know that things will definitely change in 2022. So we're very happy about that. All right, so excuse me. Let's talk a little bit about the 2022 program. It is a double AMC compliant program, which means that all activities in clinical observation are hands off. And of course, the main goal of this program is to get you fluent in Spanish so that you can better take care of your patients in the future. So obviously this course includes 3 Spanish courses, which means 3 levels of Spanish. So let's say someone is starting with Spanish 101. With this program, they would go through Spanish 101, 102, 201. Okay, so those are the 3 courses a person could take. If somebody's starting at 201, then they would go up 3 courses from there. And we add to this experience 3 components that also have as an objective for you to put all of the Spanish that you're learning, the vocabulary, and everything else into context, okay? Into a context that makes sense for you culturally, but also within the clinical environment. So we have medical shadowing. You're going to shadow healthcare providers in Latin America with the objective of understanding how people communicate within that environment. There's also the opportunity for a health research project where you can learn a little bit about the prevalent illnesses in a specific social, cultural, and economical area of the location you are visiting. And there will also be volunteer opportunities that don't necessarily have to be in the clinical setting, but allow you to leave a footprint behind and sort of say thank you to that culture that has received you. Classes again are available are from Spanish 101 to 302. If you are a heritage speaker, we also have a heritage program that is available for those of you who are advanced speakers as well. And there are some opportunities for other courses, thematic courses, depending on the level that you currently have or you have when you start the program. When you register into the program, you will have an assessment done by someone in our academic department that will allow you to understand what level of Spanish you have, and then you can choose the courses that are right for your level. So if you are wondering about advanced courses or thematic courses, make sure that you ask your ASELA advisor about those, okay? All right, so let's go on here, moving right along. So let me tell you a little bit about the Shadow Broad Foundation and this program. It first started in 2002. We started this program about 20 years ago almost, and we started with 3 students, and those 3 students were all 3 of them were from Chicago, so we called that group the Chicago Hope Group after the television series that was popular back then. Since then, we've seen over 800 students go through the program. We're very proud about that because our staff and our teachers all know that they were helping prepare future healthcare professionals to be the best that they can be, and perhaps help out some of our friends and family that are in North America as well. So we're really proud about that. And again, this program is run by the Shadow Abroad Foundation. So it is a not-for-profit organization. We do things a little bit backwards. We always tell our students. So if you are planning to apply to this program, you will go through an interview, and we like to make sure that we have a good fit program for what your requirements are, and that also you're a good fit for our program, because we don't have too many spots available. They are limited to the shadowing opportunity, so we do want to make sure that that's in line with what you want and what we can offer. All right. One of the things that a lot of people don't know is that the US has the 2nd largest Spanish speaking population in the world. Like I said, our mission is to get healthcare professional or future healthcare professionals fluent in Spanish so that they can attend to their patients and communicate directly with their patients. It says here on my slide, when a healthcare provider can speak to the patient in their language, the patient feels like a welcome part of the community. If you remember, and if you heard me at the beginning of this presentation, I had that sort of firsthand look at what it's like working really hard to be a part of a community. And with everything we've seen on the news and how difficult a lot of the minorities have had it, we are becoming more and more aware of how important it is to reach out to those people in minority communities and be able to help them out. But considering the sheer number of Spanish speakers in the US, it's almost not even a minority, it's almost a necessity. And being able to communicate directly with your patients is going to be an essential part of that bond that you need to create as healthcare professionals. I think that it's wonderful that we have interpreters and translators and gadgets that help us on a daily basis, but it really isn't the same, because you don't get that bond, that link that you need, that's so necessary between a healthcare provider and their patient, so that you can dig in deeper and then you can earn that trust that's so important. And I think even from the standpoint of being a patient, that we've all been a patient at one point or another in our lives, we understand how important that is. Okay. I think that, like I said, the US has the second largest Spanish-speaking population, so there's definitely a language gap in many areas, but specifically in healthcare, I think we can say it's definitely in crisis mode. And it's not just us saying it. If you look at my slide here, it says doctors must face today's demographic realities. A Spanish-speaking doctor fills a critical nationwide gap, opening the doors of communication between doctors and patients. And this isn't us saying, this is the AMA Journal of Ethics. So I think every day more and more organizations, more and more hospitals, healthcare clinics, and you know, colleges and universities and so many other institutions are realizing that this is definitely an issue that needs to be addressed. However, I think it gets lost a little bit it goes into the background, I would say, because a lot of students are working really hard to learn about the physical end of things, about the anatomy, about the physiology, and all of these wonderful things that will make you be a better healthcare professional. But we sometimes forget or sometimes put into sort of second place that you will be working with human beings. And it's really important to keep that humanity in what you're doing, and how important it is to be able to communicate with your patient, to provide that space with dignity. And I think that word is huge, and it says a lot about who you are as a person too, wanting to reach out and provide that for your future patients as well. So as the Shadow Abroad Foundation, like I said, our mission is to prepare professionals for a modern America. And that modern America comes with lots of different colors and sizes and shapes and flavors, and of course languages. And there we go again with that sort of piece about saying, how can I be a part of the community? How can I reach out? We always say it takes one student to reach thousands, right? So what I'd like to do now is I'm going to ask Carolina to play a video for me. If you can just give us about 2 minutes of your time, I think it's really great to hear all of this information that I'm sharing with you from your peers. You know, listen to what it was like for people who actually did the program. And maybe that will spark some ideas, some questions that you might want to ask. Remember, you can put your questions into the chat box and we're happy to answer them for you. But take a couple of minutes here. I'll ask Carolina to hit play when she's ready, and let's listen to some of your peers talking about their experience.
This program, it was honestly awesome. You know, you get here and you're so nervous. It was my first time out of the country. I had no idea what to expect, what I was going to be doing, anything. I didn't know any Spanish before I came here. But when I got here, like, everyone was so supportive. I learned Spanish, I feel like, very well. You get here and you're in this entirely new place, and you know, it's like you have to learn Spanish, and you do, because you are immersed.
I chose this program specifically since it combined medicine and Spanish as well, and I'm currently a pre-med student. So this program was really unique that it offered Spanish classes as well as shadowing opportunities, and what I really took out of it was the shadowing opportunities. The school did a really great job of setting all of us up for great doctors to shadow with and to learn.
I love my classes. Classes are awesome, but definitely my favorite part of the program has been actually working and shadowing doctors in the hospitals here. It's awesome experience that you just really can't get in the classroom. Studying Spanish in the classroom is one thing, but actually living it out on the streets and in hospitals with people who, you know, speak it like that's their language. That's a totally different thing.
I was one of the students who was chosen to do a few 12-hour shifts in the emergency room. I saw a lot of really cool things and really excited that I got to do that. I also got to see a few surgeries with a gastroenterologist. So yeah, my experience here has been really great, and I wish I could stay longer, but yeah, everything's been great.
Hola, me llamo Kendall, soy de Dallas, Texas, y estoy estudiando biología y filosofía a la Universidad de Texas at Austin. I really wanted to see what the healthcare system was like in a different country. So my first shadowing experience, I just sat down in the clinic and watched the doctor kind of do his thing. I saw a surgery where they removed the entire gallbladder. I saw one, a gastric sleeve surgery. It was really, really cool. And it was very awesome to see the dynamic between all the doctors and the patients as well. Like in the clinical setting, it's so different than in the States. My classes at Acela are very small, just a couple of people. We usually talk through a couple different topics using the verbs or the grammar that we're learning that day. We talk about really cool and interesting issues that are happening in the country. The other day we talked about like survival tactics. It's conversations you would have in real life, not just like ordering at a restaurant.
Hola, soy Grace, and I'm studying biology and chemistry at the University of Illinois. I love the classes because it forces you to talk all the time, and that's something that I've never had before in the classroom. And the teachers are super good at kind of hearing the things we're struggling with, so they accommodate you during class with things that we're having a lot of trouble with. And yeah, I've just seen my speaking abilities just skyrocket while being here, and yeah, the teachers are phenomenal. I really like shadowing and just comparing kind of different healthcare systems because I've only seen one in my life, so just seeing the relationships with doctors and patients here, I really like how it's closer, and it's something that I definitely want to strive for, like in my own practice or just experiences at home.
All right, thanks, Carolina. So there you had a little bit of views from students, again, who have done the program, because I really do think it's so important to hear it from your peers and see how it was for them. You heard a lot of students saying, it happens really quickly, that they learn the language really quickly. And the reason that that happens is because you are immersed in the culture. And we believe that culture and language go hand in hand. All right. We believe that you can't have one without the other. It's not the same. It's kind of like taking something out of context, like when you are in a group of people and somebody's telling a story and everybody laughs, but it wasn't funny to you, even though you understood everything, it was in English, but you weren't there, so it wasn't funny for you. That's kind of like the situation that happens when you learn a language out of the culture, without the cultural context. So it's really important for us to provide you with that immersion experience, to provide you with that ability to make things click for you, so that when you are with a medical professional and you're shadowing a medical professional, you're understanding the relationship between the doctor and his or her patients, between the pharmacist and the patient as well, and how the medication situation could change. One of the things that I had with one of our students was, she came up to me after shadowing one day and she said, Patty, it all sort of makes sense now, because I was just shadowing in a doctor's office, and the doctor kept asking the student, sorry, not the student, the patient. The doctor kept asking the patient, do you take any medication? The patient said, no, I didn't take anything. But the medical professional kept insisting and insisting and insisting. And, the student told me, I would have stopped there, and normally somebody in North America would have just ended it there. But this doctor kept digging in and said, hey, you know, my grandma used to do this home remedy for me that my mom also used to do. And the patient said, yeah, I did that. I tried that. And it all sort of fell into place, and it provided the doctor information that he or she wouldn't have had had they not, you know, kept going with that. And the student says to me, Patty, I would have never thought of, you know, digging in deeper. I know now that if I have a Latin American patient, I might want to ask, you know, have you tried any home remedies, which I wouldn't normally have said to a patient, perhaps in the States. So all of this gets put together. You'll be learning language skills, of course, like you heard in the video. You'll be learning vocabulary and structure and how to put it all together, but you'll also be learning about cultural empathy. What is it like? How do they you know, communicate with one another? We're very touchy-feely people. It's really important for us to create a relationship with our healthcare provider, you know, and it's not uncommon for us to ask the doctor about his or her family and how his vacation went and did his son pass his test, and he'll ask us similar things as well. And that's really typical of what we do here, because health is a very intimate issue. And sometimes we feel that if we don't have that intimacy with our healthcare provider, there's something missing. There isn't care within that. There isn't a little bit of love inserted. So that's kind of like a cultural thing that you'll understand and pick up when you're viewing all of these opportunities. Of course, this comes with a college transcript to help you stay on track for graduation. Some students like to use their credits for undergrad. Some students like to keep their credits and their transcripts for grad school, and that's all fine. The program is short. You don't have to skip a whole entire semester to do it. You can do this during your summer, but if you are planning a gap year, or if you'd like to stay a bit longer, there are some programs that could be suitable for you. Like I said, this program has extra components that will allow you to make it all come together. So there's shadowing, research, and volunteering, all of them with the objective of having you make more sense excuse me, of the language that you are learning on a daily basis. And all of these opportunities will allow you to become fluent, but also to understand the context of what it is that you're saying and what people are saying to you. All right. Not to mention all of the self-confidence you'll have. I know some of you have never been abroad on your own, or some of you perhaps have been abroad, but for a very short period of time. This is a more extended period of time. So it brings you to a place that perhaps you haven't been before, and it definitely makes you leave the comforts of home behind. So that's really important too, that you're willing to do that. This also creates a network of friends that not only are having this wonderful experience with you, but these are also your future colleagues. And all of this comes together. It seems like maybe quite complex, but it's kind of like a daily thing for us, because we have a lot of years of experience putting this all together. I'm going to stop sharing my screen again for another second or so, and I'm going to ask Carolina to play another quick video. This video, and if you are watching on a small screen, you'll want to make your screen as large as possible, because you will be reading some subtitles, excuse me, because these videos are in Spanish. If you are an advanced speaker, this is a wonderful opportunity to practice, but we'll be hearing from Laura, who is the school director for the Buenos Aires school, but also she is our academic coordinator. And you'll also be hearing from Dr. Rodriguez, who is our clinical director. All right, so whenever you're ready, Carolina, thank you.
Hola, estamos aquí con Laura, ella es directora de la escuela en Buenos Aires.
Lo que nosotros proponemos en nuestras escuelas es que puedan aprender a hablar rápido. Entonces, aunque no sepas nada, el primer día de clase te vas a ir con un montón de herramientas para poder sobrevivir, comprar, y esa primera semana te va a ayudar a sentar las bases que, bueno, van a ser muy útiles para los próximos niveles. No hay que tener miedo, al contrario, aprender una nueva lengua también nos permite abrir todo un horizonte a una cultura, a una forma de pensar diferente y observar el mundo de una manera distinta. Entonces, nuestro trabajo no es solo como lingüistas o como profesores de idiomas, sino también como embajadores de una cultura, ¿no?, que abrimos a los estudiantes.
Hola, soy el doctor Leonardo Rodríguez, médico cirujano dedicado a la cirugía de la obesidad y de la diabetes. En nuestro centro, en donde un grupo de profesionales manejan a nuestros pacientes, hemos tenido la experiencia hermosa de interactuar con ESELA desde hace varios años. Eso ha significado que nuestros alumnos han tenido la posibilidad de ver a un equipo profesional médico interactuando con un paciente en los distintos ambientes, tanto en la consulta médica como en la sala de operaciones cuando les hacemos una cirugía a los pacientes. Ellos tienen la oportunidad de conocer el lenguaje técnico médico, pero también aquel coloquial, aquel que permite acercar al profesional de la salud a nuestro paciente en forma respetuosa, pero afectuosa siempre.
Great, thank you so much, Carolina. So that was a little bit that is shared by Laura, who again is the director of the Buenos Aires School. She talks to us a little bit about how quickly things happen, because we have spent years and years putting together a program that is going to allow you to quickly pick up the language. Even if you're coming from zero knowledge, you will quickly pick up the language because we will prepare you to do so. And Dr. Rodriguez was saying, you know, you're not only going to learn about, you know, the technical terminology while you're shadowing, but you'll also learn about the colloquialisms that are not in textbooks and that can differ from location to location. So that's, you know, part of the experience there as well. I see that there are a few questions coming in already. I'm going to ask my staff because my eyesight isn't too good. So I'm going to ask the staff if there are any questions for me.
Yeah, Patty, I've got one here from Sharon. She is wondering whether she needs a special visa to travel.
Okay, good. That's a good question. It really depends on your particular nationality. If you are a citizen of the US, you don't need a visa to travel to any of the locations that our program takes place in. You will get a visa stamped in your passport as a visitor when entering the country, and you get that for 90 days. If you are not a citizen of the US, you might want to connect with the local embassy for the countries that the program is taking place in. If you have any questions about it, you know, I think that everybody might have a particular situation. You can definitely ask one of our advisors and they'll be happy to help you out with that. I hope that answers your question, Sharon. Is there any other questions that I might be able to answer?
Hi, Patty. Here, Mike is asking, what kind of classes are available for advanced students?
Good question, Mike. Like I said in the beginning, you might have missed it, but we have, first of all, a heritage program available for heritage speakers. So if you are a heritage speaker, that is available for you. There are some thematic courses, and by that we mean, for example, Spanish for medicine, Latin American literature, Latin American cultures, and those are, you know, provided to you depending on your level and the availability in the different locations. So if you are an advanced learner, you would want to talk to your advisor about the possibilities that are out there for you. But then again, it's also very important that you take the assessment so that we can assess exactly how advanced you are, so you can select the programs that are correct for you. I hope that answers your question, Mike. Is there any other ones, or should we go on?
Hey, Patty. We have a
Thank you,
question from
Sandra.
David. He is asking if he gets to pick the specialty of the doctors he gets to shadow.
Okay, yeah, that's a really good question. No, you do not get to select specialties or anything like that. There are very limited shadowing opportunities, and we do our best to rotate our students with the medical professionals available so that everybody gets a fair chance. We also believe that you get more out of it when you are rotating as much as possible. Remember, this program, the shadowing portion of this program has as an objective to get you to understand the linguistics, right? This isn't, you know, we don't want to teach you about medicine. I'm sure your universities are going to do a wonderful job at that. You will, you know, by osmosis, I suppose, learn there's no way of taking that out of the equation. But the ideal situation is that you're putting it all together. You're learning to listen, learning about vocabulary, learning about the culture. Why is this happening this way? Why do they express themselves that way? What are the prevalent illnesses? What am I seeing more often? Why is that happening? What is it about the Latin American culture that might have an illness in this location or another location that's more, you know, prevalent than another? So the important part of the shadowing is not the specialty that you're shadowing. If we're able to, you know, provide you with a couple more hours and that's available, we will do that. Absolutely. You can let the staff at the school know what your preferences are, but we cannot guarantee because we want to provide, again, everybody in the program with equal opportunities. And I hope that makes sense for you. All right. All right. Okay, we're going to move on because I still have several more slides to go through and I don't want to take up too much of your time. But one of the questions that always comes up is, of course, finance. I know that, you know, we understand that your students and financial situations can be a little bit difficult, or it can be difficult to obtain funding. So we have come as a not-for-profit organization, we have been able to put this together, and we have a student-friendly 0% interest payment plan available to you. It goes directly through our institution. It does not go through any financial institution, so it's not difficult to obtain this payment plan. Please speak to your advisor if that's something that's going to help you out. Also, we do have limited scholarships available. Again, we are a not-for-profit organization, but we do have some scholarships available. There are partial scholarships, and you can request information from your advisor with regards to what is available. We spread these out throughout the United States, so everybody gets a fair chance at the spots we have available for these partial scholarships. And another thing is, if you are planning to take this program, speak to your homeschool advisor, because there are monies out there that might be available to you. We know that with COVID, there were a lot of grants and scholarships available that some of our students did apply to that are currently taking the program. We do have a group in Costa Rica at this point, and another one arriving very shortly in Quito. So we know that several of those students were very successful at getting financial aid for the program, as well as some scholarships and grants that were available to them through their home school. So if that's something that you are looking to do, go ahead and speak to your homeschool advisor and to our advisor about the possibility of you know, being put up for one of the scholarships that we have available as well. If you're coming to us from AMSA or any other healthcare club, we are a member of AMSA Alliance, and we are offering 80% discount on the registration fee and the application fee. So if you would like to apply for this program, there is an 80% discount. And if you are a member of AMSA or another healthcare club, Prehealth Premed Club, there is an automatic $250 scholarship for you. So let your advisor know that you are a member of a club, AMSA, or any other club. We can check if you are part of the list of clubs that are partners with this program, okay? And just for the next couple of weeks, we are going to, and for anybody actually also in this webinar, let your advisor know if you want to apply for this program. Let your advisor know that you were here, and we will waive your admission interview fee. All right. So make sure you let your advisor know that you'd like to apply, and this time it's on us. Okay. Another question that comes up very often, and I know some of you are watching out there with parents, with friends and family, is about safety. The locations that we have selected for this program have been selected because of the safety measures that are available in those cities and in those countries. All our schools are located in upper middle class neighborhoods to local standards. And we do this because we want students to be able to go out and explore without having to look over their shoulder every 5 minutes. When you do arrive to the school, we have an orientation session that will prepare you for understanding how to get around the city, how to just, find the locations that you need, where the banks are, etc., and how to keep safe. And we repeat that very often. But truly, there isn't more to say than to travel safe like you would to any other part of the world. It really is no difference. And I think that, leaving valuables at home and being aware of your surroundings is a good tip, no matter where in the world you're traveling. And that's the same for the countries and the locations of our program. So we haven't had an issue with safety in all of these years, but we're always saying, be aware of your surroundings, leave your valuables at home. You shouldn't have a problem. If you have any questions about the locations, we're happy to provide information. If you'd like us to contact you, just write in the chat box, please contact, and one of our advisors can definitely give you a call or a Zoom call, a private Zoom call with you, with your family, whatever is more suitable for you to answer any questions that we may have missed. So I wanted to just let you know that our program for 2022 has some start dates available. We have a winter quarter or a spring semester that runs from January 9th to March 12th. Our May master that runs from May 8th to July 9th. Our Summer 1 program runs from May 29th to July 30th. Our Summer 2 program runs from June 19th to August 20th. Our fall semester or quarter runs from September 11th to November 12th. And again, if you are looking to take a gap year, any of the above start dates are available, but you should speak to one of your advisors just to let them know what your plans are, and we can definitely customize a program for you. Okay, so the 2022 program includes Chile, Argentina, and Peru. So it's 3 locations for the 2022 program. And it includes, of course, the 3 programs that the 3 courses. So you'll take a course, you'll be in each country 3 weeks. And each of those weeks you will advance 1 whole level. So a semester of Spanish every 3 weeks. You'll also have the medical shadowing, the healthcare and research project that are also included for you. And we're going to include travel between the locations. So from Chile to Argentina and from Argentina to Peru are included. The flights are included. And we're also going to add there for you 4 nights of hotel stay in each location just to make it easier and take the thinking out of all of the equation for you. If you'd like more information on the 2022 program, the dates are all listed on SpanishandMedicine.com, but also you can write in the chat box, please contact me. And again, we're happy to have one of our advisors contact you and set something up for you, whether it's answering your questions via email, giving you a phone call, or setting up a private Zoom call with you to answer all of your questions. Okay, so that's about it for us this evening. What I do want to say is thank you, because for us, it's really important that we have students like you coming to look at our program, because that means that we are getting the word out there, that people are understanding how important it is for future healthcare professionals to be able to communicate directly with their patients. Like I said earlier, a lot of these people have a hard time fitting into the community, being accepted as part of the community. When we're ill, we are at our most vulnerable, and it must be really incredibly difficult to have the burden of not being able to communicate on top of that. So knowing that there are lots of you out there that are looking into this program and wanting to take a step forward to say, I want to be a part of the solution, is just absolutely wonderful for us. So please feel free to send us a message on the chat box. I see a lot of you are already doing that. We will get to you. I like to keep this to 45 minutes, and I'm right on time, so I don't want to keep you for longer. But if there's anything I didn't answer, if you still have some questions, please feel free to contact us. You can also write to hola@shadowabroad.com, and one of our advisors will definitely reach out to you. Okay, so it was wonderful meeting you all this evening. I hope to hear from a lot of you and hope to see a lot of you in Latin America in 2022. Have a good evening. Buenas noches. Gracias.
Ciao.